difference.
Fleet Feet Lincoln is excited for the upcoming spring season and the warmer temps, and they want you to get outside and be active. Fleet Feet's Fit ID process takes a free 3D image of your feet to help runners and walkers alike find comfortable tennis shoes and inserts that ease pain associated with plantar fasciitis, bunions, and more. Get back on your feet this spring with a trip to Fleet Feet, open 7 days a week at 77th and Pioneers.
Join Jay Foreman, Eric Strickland, and Austin Norman this Thursday, March 27th at the brand new Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane as we celebrate MLB opening day and the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. That's Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. We're right down 144th Street or online at koppelcars.com. All deals with the roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Del Punt Tower, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, you guys can join in 402-464-5685 on the Starter Hayden text line. You can also join via the streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. All great ways to put a face to the voice. And we got plenty of things to talk about today. We got March Madness, men and women's side. NBA playoffs about to start here before we know it, as well as some more Husker basketball news. And we got some wrestlers that deserve some shout-outs. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going on this Monday night?
It's going pretty good. You know, good start to the week. It's not cold, so it's great.
Yeah, I'm, knock on wood here at the 1040 studios here. I think we're out of the woods. My car still has a ton of dirt on it. Need to get that washed from whatever the hell that blizzard contained. I think, what was it, Wednesday? When that thing came down, dropped mud everywhere. But nonetheless, as always, not here to talk about weather. Let's talk about Antrell Taylor and Ridge Lovett. I got a couple champions. I think
national champions.
National.
You can't say champion. National champions. Put some respect on them.
Well, I think the coolest thing, that was the first time since like 90, or it might have been 84, as far back as last time we had two national champs in that same year. And, you know, it was one of those things where it's one of those sports that the older I get, the more I'm paying attention to. Not only because you get here and you realize how great of a coach Mark Manning is and how good this program has been at the University of Nebraska, but it's just like the guys that they bring in. You know, Antrell Taylor was the 3 seed heading into that thing, and he finds a way to climb. I believe the final match he was the higher seed, but nonetheless managed to stay hot. And then same thing with Ridge Lovett. I mean, so much of that wrestling kind of matters getting hot at the right moment, but that is grueling to make it in that tournament style. And I think, is that the only combat sport that has a bracket system like that?
I think so.
Yeah, like I was talking to Haas about this on Sunday. Like, can you imagine how daunting of a gauntlet that'd be if the UFC had some sort of bracket system where you got to go match for match all the way to the end in a short amount of time? I know it's different.
I mean, people would be, you know, literally falling out like that. That would not be good at all. So
it's just incredibly, and the reason they don't do it is it's insanity. You'd be barely alive by the time you got to the end of it. But in wrestling, because you're not taking knocks to the head, you can do that. But it just, that's why you see a lot of years where the 1 seed doesn't necessarily walk out as your national champion, because it is a grueling bracket. and you got to be built a different kind of way to come out on top of that. Not to mention 8 All-Americans within this year altogether. Second,
Heck of a year.
Yeah, finish up runner. That's the highest place that they've ever had. Is that runner-up, the most they've ever scored in the national championship meeting? I mean, it was just a tons of record. Mark Manning wins the National Tournament Coach Award. So just lots of trophies. If anybody saw the pictures on X, you saw that plane. I mean, they had to pay probably quite a bit on baggage fees because the amount of hardware they had to bring home. It was a lot, but I love to see it. So I want to start with that. Mark Manning, for all the woes we've had in the men's side of sports in particular, that certainly has been the case with wrestlers. That program continues to just churn out great athletes year in, year out.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. One of the more underappreciated, coaches and whatnot. And then look at not just what he's done with that program this year, just period. I think definitely a spotlight, and he definitely deserves his flowers.
Yeah, and to all the wrestlers, obviously you got the 2 champions in there, but it was just a good performance from everybody
all around, everybody.
Yeah, so to get like I said, second place just says a lot. And there was some pressure heading into it because there was kind of the conversation like Nebraska's looking good. Just the amount of guys they're sending, they're looking good here to lock up that runner-up. Playing Penn State's just, it's unreal. Penn State's like you throw Georgia's football team, Alabama's football team, and whatever third best team you think there is that year, and you just take those 3 rosters, throw them together, and then you pick the best out of the bunch. Like Penn State, you tip your cap to them for what they've built over there. But still, for Nebraska to get runner-up says a lot about what Mark Manning's done at that program and continues to do. With that being said, let's switch over to basketball now. Some more men's Husker sports in particular. Rink Bass confirmed. He's staying. Are you surprised at all by it?
No.
I'm not either. But I will say I am curious, what his NIL demands. I mean, do you think it's a lot?
I feel like the type of character he is, he's more so, as long as it's a respectable number, he'll be fine. It's more so probably the coaches understand, so they probably add a little bit more in there just to look, we appreciate kind of what you were, what you have been, and what you bring to the table for us. This is our appreciation for that, because you sacrifice your body and other things. So I mean, it's easy when you're at a place where you're wanted.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like post-injury. I'd imagine he has some of that respect factor, but I mean, if you're him, I was listening to Eric Strickland, you got a lot of leverage on your side because you saw the guys that were, whether you think it was one guy or a couple guys, they tried to like plug and play without your presence being there. And, if you're Mass, you're sitting there on the sideline like, it's not working. It's not me. I'll tell you that much. So you can demand, I imagine, a little bit more money. And I don't know the real numbers, but the numbers that I do hear, we're talking over $500,000. So
respectable.
Yeah.
Much deserved. Like I said, again, it's more so, I think necessarily it's another opportunity for him, a healthy year on film, boosting his stock with stuff and everything like that. So, both sides want, in. So it's not like, oh, well, I don't know. That's why I said it. I feel like it's more so of a out of respect. And, we know where you're at. You see where we at, this is what we think, is a fair. Okay, cool. Because, I mean, I'm not sure he might get, what he kind of got coming off of, the injury he had and everything like that. People might try and lowball him. And, I mean, it's kind of, what can you do for me now? And people outside of this building, don't really know. So they can use that, as leverage against you. So, like I said, I'd say it's probably a respectable deal.
Yeah, and it seems like Rink Mast wanted to come back here. I think he probably appreciates the year where he got to take off. And say one thing about Nebraska, if you're going through rehab at Nebraska, the facilities check out. I'd imagine you're taken pretty well care of. So it's
most definitely.
It's a great
most definitely.
Never want to be
from personal experience. I know it's not, it's better than when it was then. And I'm like, it's not even fair regardless.
Yeah, I mean, not where I was going to go with it, but just out of curiosity, like on a scale from 1 to 10, how good is it? How good was it when you were there? And you weren't there with the new facilities. Mm-hmm. And then what's the score you would assume it has just with the new facilities in place?
The people that they had in there, I think are definitely, what makes it different and makes, the journey easier. From the head athletic trainer to, the therapist to, the assistants, the students that, may have ran, my workouts and everything like that. I would grade it off the charts. I actually came back earlier than expected, both rehabs. I could have waited, an extra week or, an extra month. I could have redshirted after, my knee injury and whatnot. But they had me ready to go. They had me mentally, not worried about my knee, not worried about getting hurt again and everything like that. So the return to play on their side, just as well as, my work ethic or whatnot, it was a combination of both. Our trainers had, exactly the blueprint of what things are going to be. At that point in time, BFR kind of was the new thing out, and they kind of experienced it. I was kind of the guinea pig. And, I haven't had any issues, since, with, my left knee or anything like that. So it's, remarkable. And that's, like I said, they upgraded and added to what, things were then to what it is now. So if it was at a 10, years ago, I know it's probably at 100 now, just because of what the pause, just because of, the upgrade to the weight room and all the other things. Plus on top of that being paid. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I want to ask that just to put in perspective of like how unreal it's getting. I mean, it's getting to the point. I wouldn't be surprised if the cure for cancer comes out of one of those, sports practice facilities pretty soon. The technologies.
I mean, they got anything that you got. They probably got something for it to make sure that you can, get out there on game day, and that's just with any sport, not just football. I'm assuming.
Yeah, you would hope so, right? I mean, the goal is it's not that much disparity, but I get to talk to a lot of the athletes, and although the football facilities, they surely get the bigger spaces. A, the rosters are a lot bigger, and then B, that's the thing that brings in the most money. So there's going to be a little more emphasis. But talking to a lot of them, I mean, as far as the aid goes for the athletes, like everybody's making sure they're getting taken care of. Even, you talk to the bowlers, and we'll have those guys on later after your show. If something happens, same thing, the red light therapy, all that stuff. So it's unreal how fast they can get you out there and ready. Which also says a lot about what the expectations are when you have all that nice equipment. And we're not going to talk about it yet, but I do want to talk about, obviously, some more Husker football. Spring training really officially starts now. So we'll talk more of that, what that kind of looks like. But before then, let's stick on hoops for a little bit longer. Give me your biggest surprise so far in March Madness. Now that we've gone through it, we know who's all in the Sweet 16. And what has been a pretty chalk bracket for the most part.
The biggest shock, honestly, I would say Arkansas. Like, again, the coach hasn't been there for more than 6 months. He got the job. He had to turn the turmoil with Kentucky. People, maybe he's lost a step and everything like that. He walked in, got that team ready, brought some people in, X, Y, and Z, and did some things. And, they're playing, really, really good. So I think, I expected, a well-coached team, but I didn't expect, what they were doing and what they showed this early in year one. That's not an easy job to do at all. In the SEC, with all the other teams that you had to go through, for you to have over 20 wins, for you to dominate, thus far in the tournament and everything like that. It's crazy how fast and how much success they've been able to have.
Yeah, I think that's probably the safest bet. I mean, you can go on the flip side and say St. John's losing to Arkansas, but Arkansas, I will say this much, and I think we might have talked about it, after day one, was when Arkansas was playing Kansas, it wasn't like Kansas didn't show up to play that day. It was like, after that game, is like, that's definitely the best double-digit seed in this entire thing. Mm-hmm. I had St. John's in my championship game, and before that tipped off, I was sweating bullets because I was like, this Arkansas team is really talented. They're just freaky athletic, and then when they got a few of their players hitting shots, it just becomes
over. It's a snowball.
And the defense on top of it, like they just make some plays that, the ultimate is like, if I much as I love Nebraska basketball, athletically they just wouldn't be able to compete with that team, especially if that team's outside making shots that day.
It'll turn into a track meet that you wouldn't want to watch.
Yeah, the only other surprise maybe you could say is BYU, but I think a lot of people kind of liked BYU. Clemson losing early actually didn't surprise me as much as I thought it would.
We called that one with McNeese.
Yeah, McNeese, Will Wade, watch out. Will Wade, he's gone out of there as well. I can't remember where, but he's got the new head coaching gig as well as the student manager.
I thought it wasn't NC State.
Maybe it is NC State. I think you're right on that. I'm not entirely sure, but that sounds right. But either way, McNeese, it's no longer McNeese State either, which I had to find out. It used to be McNeese State during the great Amir Abdul run. It was McNeese State. They dropped the state, just McNeese now. I caught myself a few times calling them state. The other one, Maryland, Big Ten. I know they're the 4 seed, but there wasn't a lot of people high on Maryland. And now, given they got the Colorado State upset, so they did get to play, the 13 seed, and then they got to play the 12 seed right after. And now they get number 1 Florida. So they're good. The first real test is coming up, but are we surprised to see Maryland maintaining as one of those Big Ten teams?
No, I'm not surprised. They played well. They just kind of got they let off the throttle a little bit late. I think they were definitely out physical. They're more physical team against Colorado State. Colorado State was streaky at times, and then for whatever reason, their guard kind of got hot, and they didn't, really have anything, for that. Maryland is a tough team. They're a physical team. I wouldn't say that they're a surprise. I expect them to play a little bit better. They got lucky with that last game because a few minutes beforehand they were kind of running away with it, and Colorado State came back. So I was kind of surprised that they let them back in the game. I think it was like maybe 3 minutes left, or around 4 minutes or something like that. They were up and they had the momentum, and they kind of slipped a little bit. It's not surprising because they were a dominant Big Ten team. And for their style of play, what they have, it wasn't shocking for them to be where they at. Now you're kind of in, you're a small fish in a big pond. The big dogs are outside, and you're gonna have to play, one hell of a game to best Florida, because Florida is an absolute monster. They're athletic freaks, and I'm not too sure if Maryland has the size matchup to overcome that. They have the athletic ability, but you're still facing oak trees with Florida just about at every position.
Yeah, and when those oak trees fall, they got a few more branches on the bench. Like, it's unreal what they got. Florida's definitely got one of the deeper rosters, and I think you can make the argument they should have been the 1 overall heading into this. Auburn gets the nod. But it's, to me, I'm not like too upset by it, but if I were to, redo the whole bracket, I was looking at Florida, the way they finished the season compared to the way Auburn finished the season. Florida looks like the best team in this entire thing, but they had a close call versus UConn as well. Now, Dan Hurley crashed out a little bit at the end of that game. And when I say a little bit, that's sarcasm. He crashed out a lot, as has kind of been his MO.
He's a passionate coach. I mean, you can say what you want to. I guarantee you they won't fire him because of outbursts. They won't get set back. I guarantee that.
Until you get one of those stories where it's so bad, you got to let him go. That's, he just... We'll find out. He hasn't done anything other than piss people off. Yeah, that's just
people get mad about the best. People get mad about, I wouldn't even say cockiness, confidence. I mean, he walks the walks and talks the talks and backs it up. So, I mean, you could be mad all you want to, but again, I wouldn't have an issue playing with a coach like that.
Yeah, no, I'll tip my cap. He wears the suit. I like it. Bring back the suits. I'm a big believer on wear suits to the games. Most college coaches do it. NBA, they just, I don't know why. That's not a take I have anywhere to go with. I just don't know. Ever since COVID happened, why don't coaches in the NBA in particular wear suits anymore? Do you care about that at all?
No, comfortability.
All right. It's a hill I'm not willing to die on, so we'll just let it go.
I've been on the other side. I hated dressing up after you got to put it on. No, I'm not mad about that. Now, okay, one suit, a month or whatever, cool, fine and dandy, whatever. But I'm not saying, it has to be. Nah. Mm-mm.
All right. Like I said, I'm not going to die on that hill. I don't really care that much. I'd rather, have played good basketball than the suits. The product on the court matters a lot more than what suit you're wearing that day, if any. All right, we got a few minutes left here. So real quick, we'll just go through, since we got the biggest surprises. Give me, between the two teams in the South, Auburn, Michigan, Ole Miss, Michigan State. Who do you like to make it to that Elite Eight?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss versus Auburn. Does Michigan have any chance to upset Auburn?
Is Michigan playing Auburn or?
Yeah, it's Michigan and Auburn. This is Sweet 16 for the Elite Eight. I'm looking for what we're going for here is how many SEC teams make it to the Elite Eight.
I don't think Michigan State has a deep enough team. Like I know they rotate. I know they play 14 players or 10 players, 11 players, whatever it is. I know, it's well-rounded or whatnot. Just the SEC ball this year has just been a little bit different. I think we've seen flashes of it last year to where they kind of turned the corner and kind of woke everybody up. And this year, they came back, with a vengeance. So I just don't. The way that Michigan State is built, unless Auburn has an off night and turnovers, you capitalize and you make it an ugly game, and you kind of take the athleticism out of Auburn, I just don't think Michigan State has enough, quite frankly.
Well, Michigan is playing Auburn. Michigan State has Ole Miss.
Oh, okay. You confused me. My fault. No, they don't have a chance at all. No.
I don't think so.
Absolutely no. No, I was talking about Michigan State. No. Michigan, no.
Okay. Michigan State versus Ole Miss.
I still got Ole Miss is a sneaky team. I think they got the easier path with Michigan State. They still have athletes. I mean, it's the same thing. I think if it gets ugly, they're hitting fast. It's going to be a track race.
Yeah, I got
it's that
more
that
SEC
Texas,
making their way
Texas,
through.
Not exactly how Texas A&M kind of was last year, but I wouldn't be upset if that happens.
All right, so the way it's the way you and me see it, that's 2 teams. So in the South, we have 2 SEC teams representing. Over in the West, Florida, Maryland, and then Texas Tech and Arkansas. So who do you got between Florida and Maryland? We talked about it already. Florida. All right, so we got another SEC team, Texas Tech and Arkansas. I think I have Arkansas. So then we got another SEC team. So now we got 4.
I'm not biased of the SEC. It's just right now the matchups is just.
I'm there with you. All right, let's go to Duke and Arizona. I have Duke.
I got Duke. Yeah.
Okay, so the rain ends. Alabama and BYU.
How healthy is Nelson? Because I know they play on Thursday. I think it's Thursday in Newark. It depends on how healthy he is. I know they had a strong showing. BYU can be streaky. Not a lot of. I know their coach was saying that they didn't. He didn't watch too much of them.
He'll be back in the starting 5. Is what that's from a few hours ago. So he will be starting. I still got Bama. I got Bama.
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
So we got Bama and Duke. So, Duke saves us from the SEC dominance, but for the most part, we're still looking at a 5-1 ratio. Now we got Houston, Purdue, Kentucky, Tennessee. Houston, Purdue. Who do you got?
Houston.
Okay, so again, we got another non-SEC team finally. Tennessee and Kentucky.
I think Kentucky beat them twice already this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
I got Tennessee. It's hard to beat a team 3 times straight. And I hope Kentucky loses because of they fired Calipari. So I hope Kentucky loses.
I actually got Kentucky in that one. I wouldn't be surprised. I will say though, I saw in Haas about this. He said the exact same thing. It's hard to beat an opponent 3 times. I don't where that logic. Where does that come from though? I'll never fully understand it because it's also.
It's hard to beat a team twice. They made adjustments. The first game, you kind of have an idea. The second game, you know exactly what it is. You had a counter to their counter. That third game, your first 2 counters might not win. People might be, frustrated or whatnot. Kentucky can have a bad, shooting game or whatnot. It's not going to be easy. Kentucky might be looking at it as, we kind of got their number. We can not necessarily relax a little bit, but, we know what it takes to beat them. And Tennessee can be mad and pissed off. And, that one uppercut or that one, right hook that you don't really see that lands right on the button that kind of stumbles. They can throw that haymaker or they can throw that one shot, that stumbles Kentucky and, knock them off.
Yeah, I mean, I get the rationale. to me, it's always like, yeah, but the team that lost twice is also like, damn, we don't know how to beat him. We haven't beat him
because
yet.
I don't think it was a dominant showing either or. I thought it was like a close game, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they weren't blowouts, no.
So, I mean, you're right then and there. Just, they were the better team that night.
Fair enough. Well, with that being said, we got to throw it the break here. We went a little bit over, but I wanted to count up, how well the SEC is doing, because there was an outcry, including me. It wasn't a full-on screech, but I definitely said a few things. A lot of SEC teams in there, and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, on what we're guessing here, 5, 6, potentially. If you go with Tennessee over Kentucky, you got 6 out of the 8 SEC teams being for the Elite 8. So, all that being said, because we talked about that earlier about the SEC team skinning 14 teams in there, they're at least showing that those were the right calls to make, because a lot of them are doing pretty damn well compared to all the other conferences. With that being said, we'll throw it to break. We'll talk some Husker football on the other side. Don't punt hour. Don't go anywhere.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, 4-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com, because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day. The light breeze, we'll see national high around 66. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and light winds, the low around 40. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy. The national high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utility's direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service. But it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free. So visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour, segment number 2. Good morning, Pierson-El, the co-host, as always, streaming in. You guys can join in via the Starter Him and text line or any of the streams. Let's talk a little bit of Husker football here now that spring has officially started, spring practice. Good morning, Pierson-El. When it comes to spring practice, what's the most important thing coming into it, especially today's era where the transfer portal is open as it ever has been?
I think the most important thing for an athlete is, to have their mind right, understand the situation, and kind of understand what's at stakes. This is your first job interview. They're paying you all this money. If you're a high guy coming in, or if you're a guy trying to battle a position, or kind of climb up the depth chart, having your mind right, understanding okay, what's your goal and everything like that. They can have an idea of, okay, we kind of like this guy, but if somebody kind of shows up consistently day in and day out, they're doing things a little different and whatnot. This is where you can win favors. This is when coaches can start to put you in a better position to get more playing time, or to kind of put you in position to where you won't be taken off the field.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much of this time is guys just battling for spots? Like, obviously the coach's job to collectively get everyone better. At the same time, they're looking at guys who can fill those roles.
I think majority of it is, I think one year, when Patrick O'Brien and Tanner Lee were battling, out, it was kind of close, and, POB kind of had one or two bad practices kind of late, and then, his performance in the spring game kind of closed that door. So, you're only as good as your last practice, because things change on a daily basis. So, you got to continuously put good days and stack your days together.
What was it like for you? Because you were walking into a group of guys, like when you were battling for your spot. And
My freshman year or every year after that?
I'd say probably the more years after that. I can't remember your freshman year. Well, freshman year, what was that wide receiver room looking like at the time?
You had Kenny Bell, you had Westy, you had
oh God, yeah. Tell me about freshman year.
you had
some guys there.
You had Jamal Turner, you had Alonzo, you had Tariq. So I mean, it was some guys in there. They all were very similar. And kind of didn't do well. Kenny had special teams stuff. They tried Westy's, it wasn't really, his thing. They had their roles already cut out. So I mean, I was just kind of the new kid on the block that, kept turning heads, that kept, making plays, and it just, each and every day it was something. I might have lined up wrong or ran the wrong route, but when the ball got in my hands, I made your second team guy or your starter miss or made him do something or whatnot. So and they knew once they kind of watered down and start game planning and whatnot, things would be situated. Knew going in, I knew special teams would be more so where my mark would be at early. So I wasn't really tripping on early playing time. When we blow teams out or be up, they kind of mix me in there. I was a utility knife. So
right.
When we go 10 personnel, you got 4 wide receivers on the field. I was kind of that fourth receiver that would kind of be added in when Zoe needed a break, when Westy needed a break, if he needed a break. And, when Kenny, every now and then wanted to be inside or, needed a blow or something like that, I was just kind of plug and play.
And then what about the years later when you're more of an established guy? Like, how do you keep? Going?
Year in and year out, they were bringing in 4 and 5 stars to take over my position. So I mean, I came off an injury. My sophomore year, they thought things were going to be a certain way. I came off an injury my sophomore year, so my junior year, I was kind of a bit of in a rotation with I think it was Alonzo. He was a senior. It was Alonzo, Westy, and B. Riley. The year before, I think everybody had at least 800 yards, 7, 8 touchdowns, or 9 touchdowns apiece between the three. You got 3 receivers over 700 yards. 3 receivers in the top 15 in the nation. It's not bad at all. So it just kind of they still were trying to figure out how was I gonna be what I was the year beforehand or what things were. Me and Stan kind of the younger guys kind of showed up, so it's kind of they had their personnels when those 3 would be in. We had our personnels when with 12 personnel we would be in. Everybody had their their shot plays and whatnot. So it was kind of 60-40 or 40-60 split depending on what the game was on some things and whatnot. My senior year, like I said, they brought in 5 stars to try and replace me, and it just didn't work.
Well, that being said, we got to go to break already because we went long on the last one. But I just want to bring that up because we're in the mix, and that's what a lot of the guys I'd imagine are going through right now is just battling for those spots out there. We'll talk some more Husker football on the final segment. Don't punt Tower. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. Talk to you in a little bit.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. Or right down 144th Street or online at CoppelCars.com. All deals with the roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utility's direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day. A light breeze, we'll see national high around 66. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and light winds, the low around 40. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy, the national high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El, the co-host, as always, joining me. You guys can always join in via the Starter Heyman text line. And real quick, I do want to talk about the college basketball crown, and then we'll tie up with some Husker football, because I just saw that Nick Bahi actually picked Nebraska in the championship game of the college basketball crown, but not winning it. But he did pick us to make it all the way to the championship game. They have Arizona State for that first game, and he had Nebraska winning all the way, facing Boise State in their side of the bracket championship game to play Villanova in the official championship game. All this to say, if that is the case and Nebraska even finds a way to win it, how big is that for the program? And in a tournament that's new, I have no idea how much buzz it's really going to get yet. None, unmute yourself. If
I seen that. It's a good way to end the year. But again, I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's a head turner. I wouldn't say something to plant a flag on or anything like that. Like I said, it's an accomplishment. But again, the goal is to be in the tournament.
Yeah, the most I could say about it, it's a good thing. It lets you not end the season the way you did.
Yeah.
It basically just erases what's just being real. What was a crap way to end the year? You can only
it makes this thing of things a little bit better.
Yeah, and it might help you recruiting. Say you go win that. There's some teams right now, some players on the outside looking in, watching, trying to figure out what university they want to go play for. If you have somewhat of a good showing, obviously it's going to depend on NAL, what the recruiting looks like on that, but it'll do more good than bad. Unless you show up day one versus Arizona State just abysmal, then maybe things are even worse. That being said, though, we got a few minutes left. Let's finish on Husker football. We kind of talked about spring training. What are the things to you most important that this team collectively or within a position group or even individual player is an absolute must if this team's going to win 8 games? I think 8 games is kind of that threshold most fans are expecting / wanting.
With the departure of all the players and coaches and everything like that, of just understanding the team's identity for both sides of the ball to come together and play complete ball. This is a good team bonding time. This is a good time to figure out, the young guys coming in, the young guys stepping up and replacing, some stars that are leaving. This is a good time for the players to get acclimated to both new coordinators, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I know the defensive coordinator was there last year, but I mean, he's calling the shots now. So I think that's the number one thing coming out of spring, that the team knows exactly, who they are, who their identity is, and they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, you got more of enough coaches to delegate that stuff out as to who's who. And that's one of the beauties of it. It's also, it can be one of the cons of it. If you got a bunch of coaches and they're all saying, things, even if they're not that much different, you get enough of those small ripples, all of a sudden the water's choppy. So as long as the communication's clear, which I do think Matt Rule having that ability to play somewhat of that CEO role should help, and just making sure all that communication's good. As far as players go, the obvious one is Dylan Raiola. Other guys, I think you're looking at Vincent Shavers. He had definitely was promising at times. Can he be a staple on that defense? Same thing with, I think you're looking at defensive line like Van Poppel as well.
I mean, you got a new D-line coach coming in that has to build, that connection with those guys in order to get to bring the best out of them. So, it's going to take some time. It's not going to be, easy, even when, because I've been through a coaching change. I've been through, my position coach leaving and everything like that. A guy who recruited me here, and, somebody else is kind of coming in and I got to restart over and everything like that. It's not necessarily easy, but, there are some staples of things that need to happen for that to be, a prosperous relationship. So when you get, with a I don't want to say an unproven guy, group, but with a young group coming in that has to fill the shoes of, some talented guys that left either because eligibility or left because, going to another place. You have to kind of connect with them and get the best out of them early because, we're going to need the trenches on both sides of the ball to do well. It's going to start there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big question marks. Is there a fall off? And if there is a fall off, how steep is it with the defense? Where is your concern with that? Just on John Butler being able to maintain and even better, somehow improve that defense.
I think he's fine. Again, he's an NFL level coach. He understands the defense. He ran the defense. He was in Buffalo, who is known to have, a top 5 defense these last couple of years and everything like that. So the knowledge of it, what he brings from the pro level of things and whatnot will be good. So it's just a matter of the kids understanding, stepping into a role. You have shoes to fill, and on the back end, we have a lot of guys that did play, so that is good. We have some guys that came in. Same thing up front. You got the guy out of the SEC, which should help bulk up some things and whatnot. Now it's just it's like putting all your ingredients in the crock pot and letting it kind of marinate and whatnot. So this is the time to kind of cook and prep and get everything right for fall camp coming in.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see who are the guys that elevate to the top. Because even a guy like Isaac Gifford, in that such a unique role where, you put a lot of trust in that guy to just constantly make the right reads because he's got a lot of freedom to be in the wrong spot completely. So even just roles like that where, I'm not sure if anyone's thinking, Gifford's certainly a great defensive player, but I think more people, for obvious reasons, were focused on the guys who are getting highly touted in the NFL draft and the NFL combine right now. But that's just it's a hard role, at least based on guys talking to Brewington, like to replace that and find a guy you actually trust.
He was you could say what you want, certain situations. He's not going to be Superman, the people that they're playing are Division I athletes as well. But more times than not, you could count on him to at least be around, slow it down, be in the area, and every now and then, did something happen? Yes, but he was a strong point of the defense. He was an identity of the defense. He was a hammer, not the nail of the defense. You could count on him to be sideline to sideline, a heat-seeking missile to destroy.
Well, that was just it too. Like you trust him to make the tackle, because if it gets that far, like it's pretty much a foregone touchdown if he's not able to make that open field tackle. So again, just another position to keep an eye on. But I feel good about it. I say it all the time, but when you look at this coaching staff, you also see, damn, we kept a lot of these guys. We didn't necessarily show them the door. So you got a lot of that communication. Just a matter of me is if that organization is clean as that, and if everybody understands that assignment. All right, good morning, Pierson-El. That's going to do it for us today. We'll talk some more March Madness tomorrow, as well as some more college hoops. Appreciate you listening. This has been the Dumb Punt Hour. Spare time coming up next.